Hello and good morning, everyone. Happy back to school time. I am Amanda Ruback, and this is Connie, and she's one of our nurses and specialists in poison information, one who works on the phone answering your calls. So today we're going to talk about back to school poison prevention. Both of us do have kiddos that are in middle and high school, and they are getting back to school. My youngest actually started today, and my oldest started a week and a half ago. So they're ready and already in that school frame of mind. So we want to talk a little bit today about just how to keep your kids safe, whether they're entering school for the first time in preschool or kindergarten, or they're on up through high school or even college. There's some good tips here that we can gather. So I am going to hand it off to Connie as she talks about some school supplies.
Hi guys, welcome. Thanks for joining. And most of our back to school list, it can be pretty long, some can be pretty short, some can be pretty complex, but the basics are like your pens, your pencils, markers, glue sticks, and just any other art products. Most of the exposures will occur in school. So maybe the kindergartner is painting their tongue with the watercolors, or your second grader is using the glue stick as chapstick, or you've got somebody just sucking on a pen in general and the pen breaks and you've got ink in their mouth. So the good news is that most of these supplies are considered non-toxic, or what we call like a low order of toxicity, meaning we're going to expect very minimal effects from the exposure. If you do have an exposure, and if you're at school, if the teachers are listening right now, send your child down to the nurse's station. They are great about calling us. And if you're just the parent homeschooling your children, call us, let us know what's going on, and we can work with you on how to take care of that. As far as lunch boxes are concerned, remember the old metal lunch boxes? I'm probably showing my age right now, but they used to come with like that little thermos that was in there, but now they come in all varieties. So you may have a canvas, you may have just a plain Target or Walmart bag. Some of them are insulated, some are not, but just make sure that there's like a handful of safety items we want to talk about. So when you're preparing their lunches, make sure you wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. We should all be experts at this point by that. And then before you're eating, grab some soap and water real quick, wash your hands before you eat, because you've been touching school desks all day. You've been touching handles all day. That's gross. It's got a lot of germs on it. The other thing is that when your child comes home with their backpack, throw out empty food that might be left uneaten. So that includes the soups, that includes the sandwiches, and make sure that if anything is spilled in there, that you wash it really well with like an antibacterial spray or soap and dry it off with a microfiber type cloth, because you can get mold and bacteria can produce in there. Also, the big thing is that when you store your child's lunch, obviously it's in the refrigerator in the morning, or if it's fresh, but it's going to be sitting in their locker for 7-8 hours. So the USDA advises 2 ice packs to be put inside their lunchbox, just to keep things fresh and make sure that they don't spoil. And again, if you do take out a little packet, it's called a silica gel packet. Sometimes they're in backpacks, sometimes they're in lunch boxes. I've got one right here to show you. These little things, we get calls on this every day, all day, throughout the day. It scares you to death. It says "do not eat" written all over it. But you know what, guys? It's not a poison. It's a choking hazard for the little ones. So if people think that it's salt, looks like a salt packet from a restaurant, and they put it on their food, they take a bite out of it, not a problem. But please call us. Let's talk. But it's mostly a choking hazard in the younger kids. Move on to our next item, which is going to be our hand sanitizer. Okay, we all know about hand sanitizers now with COVID and these last 2 years, but hand sanitizer exposures make up 75% of our calls. The biggest age group is from newborns to 5 years of age. A lot of classrooms have these large pump bottles like this. Sometimes the kiddos have the little travel size, the 2-ounce bottles that come like you can a little attach to your backpack or attach to their little belt loop. And a lot of times these kids will have it on their hands. So you put a little dollop on it, you have it in their hands. Some kids don't allow it to dry. They rub their eye or they might lick it. The big thing that we hear is that it's on the desk and the kids are having fun and they slam this down and it splashes in someone's eyes. So if you happen to be exposed in the eyes, again, call us, let us know what's going on. And we suggest that the little kiddos, like, I don't know about a certain age, but you would know age appropriate with your own child, try not to send them to school with the hand sanitizers. If you go to your favorite hand sanitizer store and there's apple cider, there's peach, there's cotton candy, there's all kinds of flavors or scents, I should say, which they think if it smells good, it should taste good, right? So that is going to kind of prevent your child from just don't send it to school. It's just hopefully will prevent any type of exposure from happening. And cleaning supplies. We all love our men and women that go behind us and clean up our mess at school. Thank you very much for doing that, because I know my kid, he's gross. Okay, he's 15, almost 16. He's gross. Boys are gross. All kids are gross. So thank you for taking care of our schools. And the big thing is we do not want to mix chemicals. There's a wide variety of cleaning supplies. There could be sprays. There could be the little wipes. I've got a box right here. These are my favorite, but they all come in wide varieties. But the big thing is that you do not want to mix bleach with anything, only water. Same thing with ammonia. People mix cleaning products for some reason thinking that more is better. It's going to clean your floor, your table better, and it's not. It produces toxic gases, which can be very irritating to the eyes, lungs, nose, and throat. So heaven forbid something like that should happen. Call us, let's talk. But a lot of the exposures we see with kids is that they may have the spray bottle. They put the spray bottle in their mouth. They're going to suck on the tip of it. Or they're going to touch a surface that is still wet, and then they may not wash their hands, and that product is on their hands for several minutes, may have some irritation there. Or they're just going to say, oh, what is this? And they're going to lick their hands. So let's talk. Our 1-800 number is 1-800-222-1222. So if you do have any exposures, call us with that. And our other topic is medications. Okay, so this is a big one. About 6% of our elementary and high school kids do have medications, whether it's from asthma, epilepsy, depression, ADHD, diabetes, anything, even if over-the-counter medications. There usually is a permission slip that has to be brought to the school and given to the nurse to allow medication to be administered. There's a couple hints on preparing the medication to be brought into school. So you want to have your pharmacy fill the medications with 2 bottles. One bottle is your home supply, and the other bottle is going to be your school supply. Make sure that the proper name is written on it. You don't want to put anybody else's name on there. And if your child needs like a rescue drug, let's say asthma or an EpiPen, make sure your child knows how to use those correctly. And then even if there's any other over-the-counter medications like Tylenol or ibuprofen, you need to make sure that that written permission slip is given to the nurse. And there may not always be a nurse on staff. So the principal may administer these medications. It may be a teacher, it may be a secretary, a health aide. So we want to kind of prevent any common medication exposure that may happen. You know, the wrong child shows up, it's the sibling, it's, well, I take an ADHD medicine. So you want to make sure that you have the proper documentation for that. When it comes to field trips, everybody loves a good field trip. Get away from the classroom, get some fresh air, get some fun, excitement. So field trips have the same thing. Make sure that a permission slip is given and make sure that you're able to take your medications on the field trip. If you cannot, you want to contact your doctor and, you know, just say, hey, my child's going to be on a field trip from 9 to 11. Can the medication be given later? Or, you know, can it be given when we get home? Just find out with your pediatrician to make sure that the medication can be given at a different time if it's not able to be given on the field trip. And then as far as handling mistakes, if it does happen, don't panic. call us. We're here to talk. Please do not go to Dr. Google. Dr. Google will scare you to death. We can give you an answer in 2 to 3 minutes. And then we have a toxicologist on staff free of charge that we can consult as well if we can't figure something out. But you will spend guaranteed more time Googling your answer than you would if you would call us.
That's really great information, Connie. Thank you so much for sharing information about some common school exposures. I do want to share also a few things that are on our website, whether you are a teacher or school staff or parent, and you do want some educational resources for your student or your PTL group or Girl Scout or Boy Scout troop, you can go to MissouriPoisonCenter.org. You see that little arrow there? It's got pointing to the section called Education.
Yeah.
And so in that section, there is a lot of great resources that you can use, free and ready to go. We have lesson plans for every age group, including preschool. This is lessons on home safety and outdoor safety, things that are look-alike poisons, as well as talking about kind of playing those scenarios. What would you do if you saw an open bottle of pills? And then we talk about the right answer and kind of those safety measures. And so we've got preschool and K through second grade. We also have third and fourth grade, a little more in depth about reading labels and lookalikes. And then not to forget about our older kids, our teens and tweens. Some of the hot topics there are medicine mixing. So talking about safe use of over-the-counter medicines and how to dose properly, as well as other topics like vaping and medicine safety. So lots of great free lesson plans you can do in your classroom. Absolutely. They're ready to print or use virtually. And we also have a couple of games in that education section. So a look-alike game where they can look at pills versus candy and kind of see and test your skill and see if you can figure out what is the right one. And then that goes along with great safety talk. You know, what do you do if you see a medicine and you don't know what it is? What is the safest thing to do? Who do you talk to?
Right.
So, absolutely. So great information on our website. Again, MissouriPoisonCenter.org. There we go. The one final tip I want to share with you, if you just have time to do any one thing, it is to save the poison helpline in your phone today. We offer magnets and great paper resources, but we don't often have those at our fingertips when a poisoning does occur. So we encourage you to get out your phone, put it in your contacts as Poison Control, Missouri Poison Center, whatever you like to call us, and put in 1-800-222-1222. And that number will get you to a nurse like Connie or a pharmacist who can speak to you for free 24 hours a day about your school-related exposure, home, or otherwise. We're there and available free and confidential any time of day. So thank you for listening. Thanks, Connie, for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.